Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing top 5 favorite products from top 5 favorite drugstore brands. I got this idea from Jen Phelps here on YouTube, who got the idea from Michelle Wong. So I will link both of their channels down below, as well as both of their videos down below. I had a really hard time coming up with my top 5 favorite drugstore brands because there are so many brands out there and so many that I love. So instead of going in order of figuring out my top 5 brands and then figuring out my top 5 favorite products from those brands, I just started pulling my favorite makeup from my collection and started grouping them by brand. And whichever brands I came up with the most products the easiest are the brands that I went with. These I was kind of surprised by, and then some of these I was not at all surprised by. And before we get into it, I just want to say that I am heartbroken to see everything going on in the world right now. It's very scary, very, very sad. As someone with anxiety, I try not to go down rabbit holes, which are very easy to do right now. I try and just focus on what I can control and what I can do. And I would encourage you guys to try and do the same, as hard as it is, whether that's finding an organization that you want to donate to, practicing kindness every day in your life. There's little things we can do to try and make a difference in the world when it feels like everything is so out of control and we're so helpless. So that's kind of how I've been coping with everything. And my heart goes out to anyone with family, friends, or anyone over there in danger right now. And I just truly can't imagine. I didn't want to make this video without acknowledging what's going on in the world. But I'm hoping to be a place where you can go kind of escape reality for a little bit, for those of us fortunate enough to be able to have that choice. All right, the first brand, I would say these first two were the fastest for me. They started flying out of my collection. I was like, okay, these two brands have to be in there. And the first is Milani, which if you asked me to come up with my favorite 5 brands, I don't know that I would have said Milani. They make some of my absolute favorite products I discovered after trying to prepare for this video. So the first is my Holy Grail Ride or Die setting spray, and it's the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is one of the only setting sprays that I actually reach for out of all of the setting sprays in my collection. I feel like it's a step that I don't always take. Primer and setting spray, I would say, are not steps that I always take in my makeup routine. They're really more for special occasions when I really need my makeup to last for whatever reason. Whenever I'm in that type of situation, this is the one that I reach for. It is simply the best. It has a really fine mist. It does not ruin your makeup as you spray it, and it really does make a massive difference, not only in melting your makeup down and taking away that powdery look, but also in makeup longevity. It creates like a film over your face where nothing is going to break down. So hands down, one of my Milani favorites and just drugstore favorites, period. All right, next up is my current absolute favorite drugstore mascara right now. It's the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara. It has like an hourglass shaped wand, which is really great for volumizing, but it also has a ton of bristles, so it really adheres to every single lash. This is like a thicker, drier formula. It holds a curl like no other mascara I've ever tried. That's kind of where this shines, in my opinion, is curling and volumizing. I didn't use a lash curler today, and it's the one that I have on right now. I was absolutely blown away when I first tried this on a first impression here on my channel, and I have loved it ever since. Unless I'm testing another mascara, this is the only one that I'm reaching for. All right, next up is a product that you guys actually introduced me to. I asked you guys, what's your favorite purchase you've ever made based off of an influencer recommendation? And someone said this was their absolute favorite based off of Ali Glein's recommendation, and I picked it up for that video, and I have loved it ever since. If you can tell, it's like the writing on here is starting to wear off. That's how well loved this is. This is the Clear Brow Gel. This is comparable to Anastasia. This is an amazing product to hold your brows in place without adding any pigment. I have another brow product in here that is absolutely incredible, but it has pigment to it. So if you just want something clear, maybe you have a lot of volume and definition in your brows already, this is the product to go with. All right, next up is a product I've talked about for years now. A lot of these you're gonna be like, okay, if you've watched my channel for a while, you're gonna be like, okay, that's not surprising at all, because I've raved about a lot of these products, and this is no exception. This is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. I have not found a lip gloss that I love this much ever again since I bought this. This is the shade 01 Champagne, and it is just so juicy, so comfortable. It has a tiny bit of a cooling effect, but no tingle. It doesn't feel like a plumping lip gloss, at least on me. It just makes any lipstick look immediately juicy, and wearing it on its own is a beautiful, really soft color. All right, then the last product from Milani is downstairs in my purse, and I can't go get it because I have to walk by my kids, and game over when I do that. But it's the Milani Stay Put eyeliner, the pencil eyeliner, the retractable one. I'll put a picture of it right here for those of you that aren't familiar. Whenever I get asked on Instagram or anywhere, what is your favorite eyeliner pencil that doesn't smudge, doesn't bleed, that just stays all day long, it is the Milani Stay Put pencil liner. It is simply the best one. I use it in my waterline. I also use it to just create like a smudgy pencil look. You can apply it and then the other side has a smudger where you can just blend it out. It is one of the only black pencils that has never done me wrong. So those are my top 5 from Milani. That was the first easiest one to come up with, and then the second easiest top 5 to come up with was NYX. Starting with the NYX Plump Right Back Primer. Similar to the Milani Make It Last, I will skip primer and I will skip setting spray more than I will skip any other product in my makeup routine. I feel like those are like the lowest on the totem pole for me in terms of most important when I'm doing my makeup, but this has changed that. Last week I was somewhere where I had to have my makeup on all day long from like 8 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m. and I knew that my makeup alone wouldn't last that long, but when I paired it with this primer and this setting spray, it lasted all day long with no issues. This is like the perfect combination of a gripping primer and a hydrating primer. If you find that the gripping primers are too drying on you or the hydrating primers aren't gripping enough, this is like that sweet spot in the middle where it's going to grip onto your makeup, but it's also going to give your makeup a smooth canvas to be applied on top of. So definite difference in my makeup application and my makeup longevity when I use this product. All right, next up is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer. This is one of my favorite products of 2021. I put it in my 2021 Best of Beauty. This is exactly what it sounds like, a serum concealer. It's very hydrating, it's very natural looking. You can use just a tiny bit and it's not going to highlight your fine lines, it's not going to sink in, it's not going to highlight any dryness that you have. I have mine in the shade Vanilla, and this is probably the concealer that I'm reaching for on a day-to-day, everyday makeup basis. And then going back to an older product, this is something that I feel like not enough people talk about, but it is one of my favorite products at the drugstore, definitely top 5 from NYX, and it's the NYX Sweet Cheeks. I'm obsessed with this. This is like the product for a cream blush that has a matte finish. So for those of you with oily skin, this is a game changer. If you haven't been able to get away with cream blushes, this gives you the same blendability, the same beautiful finish that a cream blush does, but it has a matte finish and it's really, really long lasting. That said, if you have dry skin, you can still get away with this. It's just not going to give you that luminosity. You'd want to layer on a highlighter or something else if you want that wet look, but this will still blend beautifully on drier skin. I just feel like it's a game changer for oily skin if you haven't been able to wear cream blushes. All right, next up, this is another one that I feel like is out of all of the products that I'm going to mention here is one of my absolute favorite makeup products, period. It's what I have in my brows right now, and it's a game changer. It's all I have in my brows right now. It's the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel. I have mine in the shade Cool Ash Brown. This is incredible. Like I said, it's all I have in my brows right now. It lifts them, it gives them that kind of feathered look. It adds volume because it has the little fibers in it. It adds pigment, sort of like a brow mascara, and your brows just don't move all day long. This is like your one-stop shop for everything you need out of a brow product. The pigment, the volume, and the staying put. So I cannot speak highly enough about this product. If you want to speed up your brow routine, this is the product you need. And then last but not least, I can't mention brows and NYX in the same sentence without mentioning this one. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is just a staple in any drugstore makeup collection. So I've talked about this a million times. I know a lot of people have talked about this, so I'm not going to go on about it, but definitely a favorite from NYX. All right, next up is Flower Beauty. And this one was another really easy one to come up with. This product is an oldie but a goodie, and it's the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. If you've been following me for a while, this is not a surprise. It's the highlighter that I have on right now, which, by the way, the light from the window comes in over here. So I know in my last video, some people were like, why'd you only bronze one side of your face? I'm working on the lighting. It's just because this side of my face is a lot more well lit than this side of my face, but I promise they're the same. It's just the lighting. So I'm working on it, but FYI if you're thinking that right now. This is such a stunning highlighter palette. This has been a holy grail of mine for years and years and years. Always will be. It's a silky, silky smooth formula, but it's super pigmented. You can go really light-handed, you can go heavy-handed, and it does not highlight any texture. It just melts into your skin. This is one of the best powder highlighters ever, in my opinion. It is stunning. However, if you are more of a fan of liquid or cream highlighters, my other favorite from Flower Beauty, or another one of my top 5, is the Flower Beauty Day Glow. You guys, this stuff is stunning. I featured this in one of my favorites videos and I am obsessed. This is like one of those really underrated products I don't hear a ton of people talking about. This gives you that perfect like summer wet glow, and I just cannot recommend this enough. I'll show you guys a close-up so you can see just how creamy it is. You can really warm it up with your fingers. So this was the first product I thought of when I thought of Flower Beauty. And if you haven't tried this and you like cream highlighters, please try this. It's incredible. All right, next up is a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder Dupe, and it is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Powder. I have mine in the shade Nude. I absolutely love this for setting underneath my eyes, kind of this area right here. This adds a little bit more coverage, I would say, than the Charlotte Tilbury, but it still has that blurring effect and that really flattering effect on the under eye area. It's not too drying at all. You could use this all over as your all over setting powder as well to add a little bit more coverage to your base product. Right, next up is the NARS Orgasm Dupe. It was either in my last dupe video or the one before that, but it is the Flower Pots Powder Blush in the shade Warm Hibiscus. The last time I checked, this was sold out, so hopefully it's not sold out right now because this is such a beautiful rosy golden tone. Like I said, it's a dupe for the NARS Orgasm, and this is like your one-step highlighter and blush in one, which I think looks so beautiful in the summer, especially for that like sun-kissed rosy cheeks but with a golden sheen to it. I love. I didn't realize that this was like all dupes pretty much, the Flower Beauty picks, because this is another dupe. This is the dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. And this is the Flower Beauty Petal Pout lipstick in the shade 035 Spiced Petal. It's what I'm wearing right now underneath the champagne lip gloss. It is such a perfect nude. It defines your lips, it gives them some color so they're not totally nuded out, but it's very wearable on so many different skin tones. It's got a little bit of pink, a little bit of brown. It's just perfect. Kind of in going through this, I realized what it is that I love about certain brands. Obviously, NYX definitely kills it in the brow department. Flower Beauty kills it in the dupes department, and I would say L'Oreal blows me away in the complexion and lip department. So let's start with complexion. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. I've talked about it a million times, so I'm not gonna go on about it, but it's the L'Oreal True Match Serum Foundation. This is as good as everyone says it is. Absolutely stunning, terrible packaging, but a lot of you guys have said that you got pumps off of Amazon, which I think is brilliant. You guys knew this had to make it in this video. But then if you're looking for more of a luminous finish, more of like a radiant finish, this Age Perfect Serum Foundation is a very similar concept, very, very natural, but more of a luminous, dewy finish. And then if you want something a little bit more matte than both of those, but still very fresh, still very skin-like, but very long wearing, the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear is a must-have for me. So this one, I would say I use the most often. It's most versatile. You can use this in the evening, you can use it during the day, you can build it up, or you can keep it sheer. So this is super versatile. But I would say the Age Perfect one is more of a daytime friendly product in my opinion. It has an SPF of 50 in it, so it's really great, especially for summer days when you want your skin to look fresh and radiant and youthful, but still have some protection in it. And then this one is definitely my event evening foundation. And then in terms of lipstick, L'Oreal does so many amazing lipsticks. When I narrowed it down to two that I just couldn't live without, it's the L'Oreal Les Nues lipstick. This is the shade New Impertinent. I also love the shade New Confident. The packaging on this is just everything. It's this rose gold packaging, and then the actual lipstick tube looks like YSL. I've gone on and on probably about this one and this L'Oreal foundation in like 25 videos, so I'm sure this isn't a surprise. But the other lipstick, which was really hard to narrow down because, again, I love L'Oreal lipsticks, but the other one that I would say I've used the most often are these L'Oreal Color Rich lipsticks. These are like lip stains / matte liquid lipsticks that don't feel at all drying or look at all matte. An incredibly unique formula that you can't find in any other brand, so I had to include it. All right, and then last but not least, the last brand that I came up with was e.l.f. Cosmetics. I love so many products from them, and this was really hard to narrow down because I feel like there's a lot of products that I love equally at e.l.f. There's less like holy grail products and more just great products that I love across the board. So these are the 5 that I decided on, starting with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer and the e.l.f. Putty Blush. These were 2 of the best releases of 2021. The e.l.f. Putty Bronzer giving very similar effects to the Chanel bronzer. So have to include this. This is an amazing, affordable option for a cream bronzer, which is really hard to find at the drugstore. And then this e.l.f. Putty Blush. This is the shade Turks and Caicos. This is absolutely beautiful and a dupe for the Rare Beauty cream blushes. So I'm gonna count these as one product together because they're very, very similar. So this is number one. Number two, I would say this is the fastest one I came up with. This is the closest to a Holy Grail product from e.l.f. that I have. It's the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This is an incredible like hourglass type of setting powder where it really sets your makeup. It makes it to where it's not going to move all day, but it looks still like skin. It still has a little bit of dimension to it. It doesn't totally mattify your skin. This is my go-to recommendation for setting dry skin, but even though my skin is more a combination, I get oily some places, I still reach for this product all the time. As I get older, I'd rather have a little bit too much luminosity than be too matte. And if you are not a fan of the Putty Blush and the Putty Bronzer because maybe you have really oily skin and you prefer powders, e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer and the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blushes are absolutely incredible powder products. They're very natural, very buildable, and I truly cannot recommend them enough. So both of those are great options depending on your preference and depending on your skin type. And then for concealer, I know a lot of people love their camo concealer. They've got their hydrating one and their regular one. But for me, the concealer that takes the cake at e.l.f. is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. This is like YSL Touche Éclat type of situation. It's really brightening. This is one, I have two, and this is one that I have up here. The other one's in the diaper bag. Because outside of the NYX Serum Concealer, this is one that I reach for on a daily basis. You can just pop a little bit in like your really dark spots, like right here, and then where I get red right here. If I'm wearing no makeup at all and I'm like waiting on my daughter or something, I'll just pop that right here, and maybe in the redness on my nose, and it immediately lifts my face. Immediately makes me look more put together, but it looks like I have absolutely no makeup on. So you can use it in that way, or you can use it with a full coverage look where you've got your concealer. If you want to give a little bit of a Kim K, really bright under eye vibe to your look, you can add this in a brighter shade than the concealer that you have, just a little bit, and it'll brighten it up without adding a ton of cakiness or coverage. And then last but not least is another brow product. I didn't realize how many brow products that I love from the drugstore. I would say this is the perfect happy medium between the Milani one and the NYX one, and it's the e.l.f. Wow Brow. So this has those volumizing fibers like the NYX one. I would say it's a lot more natural than the NYX one. If you don't like the like super brushed up brow look, you're just looking to add a little bit more volume, a little bit more fullness to your brows without having them look like they're kind of stuck in place, this is a really good option. It's not going to keep your brows just like stuck straight up like the NYX one does. It's going to fill them in and give them a really polished look. I also love the applicator on this one the most because it's super, super tiny and you don't end up getting the product anywhere but where you want it, which is a problem I do have with the NYX one. The wand on this is perfect. All right, and that is everything. Those are my top 5 favorite products from my top 5 favorite drugstore brands. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to continue this, like top 5 favorite products from other brands and what brands you'd want to see. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here, and I will see you in my next one.